The amazing Gloria Steinem told us that the truth will set you free. It will piss you off first, but it will set you free. And I think we're coming up to that right now, right? Where we're pretty pissed off because we're seeing the truth of everything. We're seeing the truth of who we are as a country, who we've been as a country, and what our elected officials will do when faced with the greatest crisis of our time. And it's not much, right? We've heard a lot of blustering for some of us our whole 54 years of life. But when it's time for the rubber to meet the road, they don't meet the moment in the slightest way. So I am getting to that point of just accepting that that is the truth because that's going to get me to the next point. That doesn't mean I won't make my 5 angry phone calls every day to my senators, my representatives, and to Hakeem and Chuck. I'm going to call them because they still need to hear it, even though my expectations are pretty low on the return of that time investment. So we're getting these really weird, conflicting messages, right? We've got our Democratic leaders saying, we, which is us, need to be doing so much more, and da 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 da. But at the same time, you have to do it in this right way. See, this is what it is to be a woman, right? This is what it is for women, right? Be this, but don't be too much of that. Remember the Barbie speech. We all remember it. So they're telling us protest peacefully, but don't go to a church to protest peacefully where a pastor who is also a director of ICE is. Don't do that. Don't say mean things to the Gestapo because, that could incite them to an over the top response that would be your fault. But do so much more. No, no. All of these jamokes who were quoting MLK the other day, who would never follow him past his famous speeches because he was truly a socialist, a democratic socialist. They have to stop there. They are not living up. If Martin Luther King Jr. Was here today, he would be so disgusted by the response from the Democrats. But I digress. We are our best hope. And this is what I am focused on. I am focused on Friday in Minnesota. I am focused on the general strike. I think this is what we need to be doing. I think this is what we need to be working on. I want this to become a snowball, to become an avalanche, right? I want this to grow and grow. Even if this one is short, it may be long. We'll see. But I think it's the right step, and I think it gives the right message because that's our true power and our true leverage. And they want us to think that we're dependent on them to do everything. That they hold the powers only by our votes, So I hope that you will get behind the general strike. You may not be a person who, when the general strike expands across the country, that you may not be an impactful person in a strike. Really, it's the frontline people who make our lives run every day, the transit workers, teachers, daycare workers, trash collectors, huge trash collectors impact. We've seen a lot of trash worker strikes. The UAW would be really smart to look at this because what is about to happen to the auto industry after Mr. Man has stomped all over all of our trade partners? Pretty bad. Everybody's going to be affected. They're just not seeing that yet. So please contribute to mutual aid so that those on the front lines who are impactful in a strike will be kept whole and safe, and they can continue to pay for their lives while they do the ultimate thing for us by striking. This country won't stand for being shut down for very long. And I know that there's other things that they can wield. They can shut off our electric. They can shut off our water. They can shut off our internet. They're going to do those things anyway. Stand up and fight in the way that you can, and don't you for a minute allow those politicians to take credit for our sacrifice, because we'll get this country back for ourselves, and we will elect the people that care about the people going forward. Here's the quote I'll use, and I'm going to misquote it, but it's, you don't have to see the full staircase to take the first step. We don't know where it's going, but the first step is Friday in Minnesota, general strike. Let's fucking go.